Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. There we go, just like that. Check. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday, June 21st. Hey, that's a solstice or something, I believe. So welcome to the show for Tuesday 21st. Ask the Wizard streaming live on actually 3 platforms now. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and now on Twitch. If you go to the website, healingcenter.ca, it should be, yep, it's up. Right up there. healingcenter.ca or russlatow.com. You can see replays of the whole show. You can see clips of just the teaching moments, TikTok, right? Kind of all the media stuff there, as well as any training and teaching that's going on as well. So be sure to check that out. I'm just going to get kind of all prepped here. Mr. Flipchart is coming into the show here in a little bit, so I need to get him plugged in, get him all warmed up. I need a coffee, and I think I'm pretty good to go. So I'm going to start the timer and say that I think the teaching is going to start. Oh, 10 minutes. No, not 10 minutes. I need a little bit more than that. It's going to start in about 15 minutes. So I'll just change that and you'll see it flip on the screen. All right, I'm going to flip it to rotate so you can see some different images if you happen to be watching this. Remember that I take the audio from this, both the entire show and also just the teaching moment, and I put it on a couple of websites, anchor.fm, but the one you guys are probably most familiar with is Spotify. If you go to Spotify, search for Ask the Wizard Coach, you'll find the show and all the archives and different things like that. All right, so sit back and enjoy. I'm going to switch the timer up. You'll see it pop up on the screen for the teaching moment, which is playing the devil's advocate on the obstacles in your life. Interesting way to look at it, or a different way to look at it, which is one of the topics of the teaching moment. All right, guys, be back in a bit. And there's the timer. All right. Good morning again. Well, I think we're set. Hold on. Okay, I think we're set. Get my radio voice on. I was going to say something that left me. What social media do you use now? So I guess the three big three now would be Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I don't know about you guys, but I've been noticing with Facebook, I don't look at it near as much as I used to. To be honest, what I look at the most now is TikTok, and I find, I don't know if some of you may, maybe probably a lot of you are on it. Some of you maybe are not. I started not that long ago, a couple of months ago, and it takes a little while, I find, for sort of the algorithm to figure out what your interests are, I guess. But now that I've been doing it, it's pretty darn accurate for the most part. And I find it actually more interesting than Facebook now. And so hopefully this is streaming okay for you guys, because it shows you your stream metrics, it calls it, right? And it showed it dropping out every once in a while, and Facebook seems to do that every once in a while. You must be, yes, well, you are. Must be, you are the first people that I've talked to this morning out loud. You can feel it here, hear it in my voice. Hold on a sec. We'll kind of do that for a little bit. So announcements. Let me think. So if you hop on, I can see when you hop on here. Would love to give a shout out, say hi, share. We're all in this together. Probably the biggest news, if you want to call it that, is, and I'm working my way through it right now, the guided immersion meditations are now all free. You can download them free. You can play them for free. There is a link if you wish to send a donation of some type that you can sort of help me continue to create, to spread this information. But what really spurred this on was, like, this is really good stuff, and I know I'm the one that created it, but it's, and I've said this right from the beginning, I don't so much create this stuff, I receive it, package it, and then deliver it to you guys. And so it's not just me, it's a compilation and an evolving compilation of all the people that I follow, and as well as Source Wisdom showing up. And excuse me, there really is, where's my pen? There it is. I mean, there really is a lot of value to this, and there's this need, not even desire almost, but a need to get the information out, whatever that takes. So all the online training will be free. The Reiki certification may have some value to it, but it is going to be like next to nothing. So I really do encourage you to, as I post these, Facebook is where I post them the most, but of course the website, you'll see it too, is to share this stuff. You can do me a huge favor in sharing it, because this information it needs to get out there. That's that's what I'm here for, is to get that information out, and to have your help and your support in doing that is so important, because you know people I don't, of course, right? Yeah, that's kind of that. So, okay. Anyway, let me do this. Hold on a sec here. I have a mute on this. Let me just hold on. I've got everything programmed into switchers and stuff. So let's see. I think, what will this? Hold on. Oh, it does. Okay. I have a button for that too. Isn't that cool? Someday I'll open up my the phone cam, and then I can move it around, and I'll kind of show you what I see here, because it's kind of cool. Okay, let me do this. We're gonna do this, and then is that working? Oh, look at that, son of a gun! It works. We're gonna head into teaching moment. this, as it often does, this showed up in the shower. um, about the obstacles, the problems, the challenges, whatever word you want to use. Mike's kind of hot. The challenges that we're facing or in the middle of in our life experience. And this isn't new. This isn't just me. You hear this from so many different people, from the more metaphysical aspects to even more of the mainstream, if you want to call it that, although metaphysics is really becoming mainstream very quickly and building up speed and momentum. Is the first thing to do is, wow, it is dropping off pretty good, but I'm recording this, so we'll be okay. The first thing to do is to change your vibrational viewpoint. Okay, so let's just, yeah, Facebook's crashing on me. What a piece of junk. I'm not terribly impressed with Facebook lately. It's just not doing its thing very well at all. Anyway, all right, let's just keep going and see what happens. Okay, let's bring him in, Mr. Where is Mr. Flip Chart? Is it this one? Oh, there we go. So, here, let's see. What word shall I use? I will use the word problem. Problem, challenge, whatever word you would like to use. This is the problem, and this is you. I'm just going to move from here. This is you, or as you guys know, I refer to it as your I am. And this is your current, I call it, I'm going to abbreviate this stuff because you'll be able to hear it too, vibrational set point. Okay, so this is your current, your perspective, or using an energy mechanics term, your vibrational set point. So this is where you're looking at the problem from. Now, this, you could also say, I guess you could say level of awareness. All sorts of different labels and names you could use for that. But that's where you're looking at the problem or the challenge, the obstacle from. And from that vibrational set point, it looks like a challenge, an obstacle, never get through this, never figure this out, on and on and on. And that's true from that perspective. And this to me is the fundamental truth that is coming in this teaching moment is this, is that this is one vibrational perspective you can take, but it's not the only one. You can take it from here. You could take it from here. You could take it from here. Right? Now, it's the same problem. And for me, what's really important with this is when we change that vibrational perspective, it does not for 1 second make the problem right or should have happened or should be happening or this is the way it's supposed to be. I mean, on and on and on. And I think sometimes that's where we trip ourselves up, is we go, okay, so I need to change my perspective on this problem, which means I need to look at something that I currently think is really, really shitty and go, oh, that's just such a wonderful thing. Not saying that at all. And I think no, I don't think. It's been my experience. That's a common point of confusion for folks is, so then this thing that I'm looking at, I'm in the middle of, that really, really sucks, I'm supposed to change my perspective, which means now it doesn't suck? No, absolutely not. The reason that you're doing this, that you're changing your vibrational perspective or your vibrational viewpoint, is so that you can change the role. This is really good. Change the role the obstacle plays in your life experience. All right, go back. You see, because I'm going to change colors. From this perspective, all you can see is the problem. And it is a problem. And the role that this problem plays in your life experience, which is probably not a great one. But when we go up here and look at it from this one, now this doesn't change, right? If it smells like crap, it still might smell like crap. But your viewpoint of it changes. And when your viewpoint of it changes, now you become more empowered to do something about it. And actually now you become more empowered to have the role that it plays be different. Now, it's not going to make it right or good or, wow, I'm so thankful this happened. Not that at all. But the role that it plays in your life experience changes. And this is where my title, wow, throat chakra, big time. This is why my title, oh, Maureen, well, thank you. Thanks for checking in. And it seems to be streaming okay. We'll just cross our fingers. I also will clip this out and post just the teaching moment, so you can check that out too. So when you change that vibrational perspective you're looking at it from, and this is my whole thing about sort of playing the devil's advocate. So you look at it and go, oh my God, my life is over, right? Or this thing that's happening, or this experience or whatever, it just sucks. Oh. So then the devil's advocate, so the way I understand that is it's looking at it from the exact opposite perspective or from a different perspective, right? So asking these questions. Again, the questions are not, well, is this really as bad as you think? Or, if you were really spiritual, you would know how to accept this. And right. I don't buy any of that stuff. This is just me, but I don't buy that. I've often said accepting something as it is does not mean accepting that it will always be that way. And it sure as hell doesn't mean that we're condoning it or agreeing with it. Absolutely not. But when we look at this thing from this set point that we've been at, which is probably, for a lot of us, been there too, which is probably this one, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to play the devil's advocate, and we're going to ask ourselves the question, well, what if it's not? Now, I'm not saying talking about it to be more complete is, what if the role that it's playing is not a bad one? Or what if the outcome from this is not bad? I'm using just bad as a handy word here. It doesn't mean that what's happening, again, see, this is the difference. It doesn't mean you go to what's happening and go, oh, this is wonderful. Oh, this is wonderful. No, not at all. But it's what if the role that this thing is playing, here we go. What if the role that this quote unquote bad thing is playing is not the one that I think it is? What if somehow, and it doesn't mean these things should have happened. I'm not in that camp either. I am not in this camp of, I'm so thankful that this terrible thing happened because otherwise it wouldn't have led me to this, and on and on and on. Not in that camp at all. I'm in the camp of sometimes bad things happen, and that's just the way it is. Now, if we had the all-knowing perspective, we could probably see all these wonderful roles and the way it, interrelates with everything else. But I don't have that. And so I do know I still live in a world with all of us where sometimes, shit happens. I still live in that place, right? It's what we do with it. And the power that we have to change the role that this obstacle has in our life experience. And I think that's the thing, is when we change or choose a different vibrational set point to look at this quote unquote problem from, then it changes the role that it plays in our life experience. And then what happens is when we're down here, it's going to end up producing more of the same thing. But this is really good. Okay, I got a lot of lines here. I'm going to change a different color. Let's try this. So when we're here, it's going to produce more of the same. But if we can just do this, it's going to produce something different. And simply by changing or choosing a different vibrational set point or way to look at it, playing the devil's advocate, right? Well, what if, this case, because here's what happens. We go, this means this, right? We go, this thing here. And that's the thing with problems and challenges. I think that the real problem with problem and challenges is not that it's a problem and challenge. I think the real thing is we don't know when it's going to end. I think that's the thing. It's like if we could see the end, if we could go, what's today? Today is June 21st. If we could go on June 27th at 3:47 in the afternoon, this thing is just going to disappear. Well, we'd probably be okay with that. But we don't know. We don't know. When is it going to end? When is it going to leave? When is it going to change? That perspective is this one right here. Right? That's that one. But as we change the way we look at it, Wayne Dyer is the one I first heard it from. I don't know if he's the one that coined it, but he's the one I heard it from. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, which is really quite accurate. So when we choose a different perspective to look at it from, and even just stay in the question. So the question is the devil's advocate question is, you look at this problem and you go, well, shit, this just sucks, and it's whatever, right? So the devil advocate says, yeah, but, and it's not that this thing sucks. It's that it's always gonna suck. Right? It's the role that this plays. The devil advocate says, well, what if it's playing a different role? Well, I know this sucks now. I'm not saying it doesn't. But what if the role that it plays in your future isn't the one you think it is? There you go. There's the question. Okay, so here's the question that you're going to ask yourself, playing the devil's advocate, not with the problem so much, but with your perspective on the problem. Is, well, what if the role that it plays and the outcome from it isn't the one that you think it is? And you could even go so far to say is, what if this thing isn't the bad thing that you think it is? It might not be comfortable, it might be kind of miserable, but maybe it's not as bad as you think it is. And you're kind of a bit of a mind hack, but what you're doing is you're tricking yourself into looking at it from a different vibrational perspective. That's what this is all about. All these little games almost you play in your mind. Well, what if the outcome from this isn't going to be so bad? What if the outcome from this is going to be fantastic? What if the way that you're looking at this is not the only way you can look at it? When you do that, it's like you're tricking yourself to choose one of these other perspectives. And when you kind of almost trick yourself into getting into those other perspectives, that changes the vibrational set point, which therefore changes the role this plays. And maybe the outcome isn't the one you think it is. Maybe the outcome will be something totally different. It doesn't mean that it should have happened. It doesn't mean that everything is, happy, joy about it, nor should it be in many respects. But what it does is it gives you back control over it. We might not be able to right now change whatever this is. But when you change your vibrational set point, the perspective you look at it from, you give yourself back control over it and the role that it will play in your future. And I think that's the thing. We're not trying to change this really smelly thing to something that's really wonderful. But what we're doing is we're changing the role that it plays in our future, which is probably the biggest thing. As I said, say it a different way, there's only one thing that I know for sure, and I know this absolutely 100% for sure, is I don't know everything. That's why I say it's always about mastering managing life, not mastering life. Two very different things. But when we take back control of how we look at it, what did I do? Of how we look at it, that tends to change everything. Just checking something here. Then that changes everything. Because now you can choose the role that it plays. Maybe you can't change the actor in your play. Hey, Melanie, how you doing? Maybe you can't change the actor in your play, this problem, this obstacle. But you can change the role that obstacle will play or the problem will play in your future. And playing the role of the devil's advocate, or sort of questioning or challenging our current perspective of it, or the current role we've chosen it to play, can often be all it takes to actually trick us almost into choosing to look at it from a very different perspective. And it might be one that when you look at it, it can be like crazy, right? Because you're going, this just sucks. There's no other way to look at it. It sucks. My life is over. And the devil's advocate could say, well, what if it's not? And then you kind of go, yeah, you're crazy, right? Look at it. And the devil's advocate would say, what if it's not? What if it doesn't mean what you think it does? Right? See, we can use that, and we can choose to be our own devil's advocate and saying, what if? Not even, maybe it is the right perspective. I don't know. But what if it's not? And actually, more accurately, it is a right perspective, but it's not the only right perspective. We can choose a different vibrational set point, a different perspective to look at this problem from, which gives us back control to choose the role it will play in the future of our futures. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. It's June 21st. This has been still the Wizard streaming live. As I said, Facebook, I'll clip the teaching portion out of this and post it. Also on YouTube, also on Twitch. I stripped the audio from it, so you can find that on Spotify. Go to Spotify, search for Asks the Wizard Coach, and you'll find my channel on Spotify as well. Share, and especially when I post a teaching moment. So, like I said, I'll clip it out, post it on YouTube and here on Facebook. Share. This is good stuff, and it's not just my stuff. It's the stuff that I've learned in all these years of wandering down this path, because this information needs to get out there, and I need you guys to share it. All right. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the web.